Let me see you do that with your green screen there, Winston Frederick Sturzel. Oh, it's mighty cold here, so I'm gonna have to try to make this as quick as possible. Hey, Winston Frederick Sturzel. I don't know if you watch your partner's content, Winston Frederick Sturzel, but last week he made a video relating how China is connected to the failed coup in South Korea, Winston Frederick Sturzel. Now today, he posted a video connecting the fall of the Syrian government to China, Winston Frederick Sturzel. Apparently, anything can be connected to the CCP, Winston Frederick Sturzel. Here, let me try one, okay? Winston Frederick Sturzel? Stick with me, Winston Frederick Sturzel. I promise this will be more fun and yet equally as factual as your partner's videos, okay? Here we go. The secret history of the United Healthcare CEO murder and Luigi Mangione, Winston Frederick Sturzel. Links will be down in the description for the details of the story. In the shadowy corners of global conspiracy, there lies a tale so bizarre that even the greatest minds of our time struggle to comprehend its full depth, Winston Frederick Sturzel. It begins not with a murder, but with a forgotten legend of Italy's most mysterious hero, Luigi Mangione, Winston Frederick Sturzel. Luigi Mangione is a man of many talents, Winston Frederick Sturzel. Master chef, opera singer, and occasional underground poker champion. However, his true calling lay in the shadowy world of international espionage, Winston Frederick Sturzel. But for reasons unknown, Luigi abandoned the life of a suave secret agent to pursue a more curious hobby, making giant inflatable ducks. His ducks became so large and so famous, they became tourist attractions, Winston Frederick Sturzel. People traveled from all over to see them, and soon a mysterious buyer showed up. The Communist Party of China, yep, that's right, the CCP, Winston Frederick Sturzel. The CCP, always looking for new ways to keep the world guessing, saw the massive floating ducks as a potential secret weapon. But why, Winston Frederick Sturzel? Was it because of their ability to create confusion at international shipping ports? Was it because they could fit thousands of agents within each duck, Winston Frederick Sturzel? Or perhaps it was because the ducks were secretly imbued with an ancient Chinese duck fu, a martial art known only to the most elite of Chinese operatives. Regardless, the CCP decided to bankroll Luigi's operation, making him a very rich and very influential man, Winston Frederick Sturzel. Meanwhile, on the other side of the globe, the United Healthcare CEO was growing more and more paranoid, Winston Frederick Sturzel. He'd been watching the news about Luigi's growing influence, and he had a nagging feeling that there was something deeply wrong about these inflatable ducks. After all, he knew that in the world of corporate America, nothing was ever quite as it seemed. Winston Frederick Sturzel. Was the CEO's paranoia justified? You know, perhaps, I guess it could have been. But when he started receiving threatening letters in a strange language, later to be confirmed to be a mix of Mandarin and Italian, his suspicions grew even darker, Winston Frederick Sturzel. One fateful evening while enjoying a solitary dinner of kale and quinoa, the CEO's diet was like as bland as his life was, he received a phone call from none other than Luigi himself.
Listen to me.
Luigi said in his thick Italian accent.
There are things you don't understand. The ducks, they are not just ducks, they are a symbol of something far greater.
Before the CEO could respond, Luigi hung up, Winston Frederick Sturzel. Moments later, the CEO was found dead, his body slumped over a stack of hospital billing forms, eyes wide open in a mix of confusion and terror. The police were baffled, of course, Winston Frederick Sturzel. I mean, who could have done this? And why did they do it? No one could figure it out, Winston Frederick Sturzel. But one thing was very clear. Luigi's ducks had something to do with it. Now, this is where things take a truly bizarre turn, Winston Frederick Sturzel. Unbeknownst to the United States, the CCP had long been plotting to infiltrate the American healthcare system. They had been doing this for years through subtle means, namely a highly classified program called Operation Duck Health, Winston Frederick Sturzel. This was an initiative to slowly undermine private healthcare companies, like United Healthcare, by planting subversive elements, including inflatable ducks, into their most sacred offices. Luigi, the CCP's unsuspecting pawn, had unknowingly helped them by supplying the ducks, Winston Frederick Sturgill. His involvement with the ducks had made him a target of the CEO, who had been on the verge of uncovering the truth. His tragic death, however, only served to further the CCP's plans, Winston Frederick Sturgill. With the CEO out of the way now, the CCP is now in control of both healthcare and inflatable ducks. The CCP has now launched a global campaign to convert all healthcare plans into a single-payer system that relies entirely on duck insurance. The world's population, already confused by the appearance of giant inflatable ducks at public events, now find themselves asking, why am I paying for healthcare when I could just be covered by a giant duck? Winston Frederick Sturgill. And what about Luigi? Well, he never really understood how his inflatable ducks could have been used for such sinister purposes, Winston Frederick Sturgill. He fled to a small town in Sicily where he's running a charming little gelato shop, Winston Frederick Sturgill. The ducks, meanwhile, continue their mission, a quiet symbol of the strange intersection between Italy, China, and the fate of American healthcare. But as for the CCP, Winston Frederick Sturgill, they remain in the shadows, ever so pleased with their masterful manipulation of global events. And Luigi, well, he continues to make ducks, Winston Frederick Sturgill. But deep down, he knows that somewhere, someone is watching and waiting, Winston Frederick Sturgill. And so, the legend lives on. The strange, untraceable link between the CCP, the United Healthcare CEO's mysterious death, and Luigi Mangione's inflatable ducks. So, how did I do, Winston Frederick Sturgill? You guys are welcome to use my story, or maybe expand on it if you want to, and you can use it for your own content, Winston Frederick Sturgill. I don't get many views, so nobody's going to notice, Winston Frederick Sturgill. Plus, I think it will fit right in with the content you guys produce. You'll find a link in the description below for the source of this story. Thank you.
Next guy, Nobby's PC Help. I have a quick question. Can you drink and drive? Well, yes, I can drink and drive. I've been doing it all my life.